So this video, we're going to look at one way to do clothing. Now, like most things in modeling and Blender, there's more than one way to do it. But I just want to focus on just kind of the most straightforward way of doing so, which is just using this body as a base and building from there. So I'll go ahead and create a duplicate of this body. And then I'm going to hide this one. And we're going to start off with a shirt. And I'm going to call this one simply shirt. And then I'm going to go to edit mode. And then I'm going to select just enough of the geometry for a shirt. There we go. I'm just going to focus on the t-shirt portion of it for now. And then just to kind of make it a little bit easier to see, let's go ahead and create a new material. And we'll call it undershirt. So I will kind of do it in layers. You don't necessarily have to. I could probably be efficient and just do like enough of the undershirt that you can kind of layer it and kind of combine them together. And honestly, that might be the better, more efficient way of doing it, is kind of building this out. So I have the undershirt that actually um, is just one piece that connects through the rest of it. I might do that when I actually have it, but for now, let's just focus on um, what we have for this t-shirt. I think it'll make it just a little bit easier to follow. And again, I'm going to scale this up just so it fits more like a t-shirt would, just a little bit baggier. I mean, I could probably tuck it into the pants, and I still might do that. I'm actually going to take out this multi-res modifier because I don't want it to kind of follow that the same geometry that I had for the body. We are going to have it kind of contour the body a little bit, but we're going to use a different tool for that. Baggier than it needs to be. In my case, I'll probably get tucked in. or get rid of the thing altogether. It really depends on, I can even go through and sculpt some of this out. So maybe the arms aren't as big, but for now, just so I have even a number subdivisions. And when I can go through and like the parts that actually have creases in them or are sewed together, I could add like a bevel and I can increase it about, let's say there, and then I could add one more step. I'll do select, more or less, select less, shrink, oh, don't want to shrink the whole thing down. I'll go with just that part, and then select more, and let's go ahead and shrink it down, but let's change the origin. Now I'll just slide this up. I guess it's pretty low poly, so it might be easier to do this and then do the same thing for probably the shoulders, but that's fine for now. Just want to make sure there's not too many parts that are poking out. All right, so this is kind of baggier than I want, but for this tutorial to work just okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a physics system that actually converts this to cloth. So that'll affect how it actually drops onto this body. And kind of give it more of like this loose type curve. So what I can do is I can go to edit. I'm going to select all. I'm going to subdivide it because I want to give myself a little more geometry to work with. And maybe this is too much, but I think for this tutorial will be okay. And then I'm going to go to object, shade, smooth. And then it looks a little wrinkly, but I kind of want some wrinkles on there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to physics, and then I'm going to create a cloth physics on there. And then I'm going to go to the same thing on our body, and I'm going to add a collision because I want something to prevent it from falling when I start the cloth simulation. And that'll make sense in a second. So now if I go over to um, my layout mode, I can hit play down here. And I can do that by simply hitting play. And that'll kind of follow some physics and actually start dropping and kind of have it more of a cloth onto my character and give me more of a t-shirt. And then you can kind of take a look at it too. It's like you can always, dial some of this back and kind of convert it. Like I don't know if I like the collar as much. I might add some seams to the arm. You can also dial it back in any direction you see fit, depending on how maybe loose you want this t-shirt to be. And then you can also, if you're having a problem with like it colliding with itself, you can make sure that it has a self collision as well. You could play around with different things such as like the stiffness of the material for the cloth. You can also make sure that again, yeah, that it has self collisions as well. So it's not going to overlap.